It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? We know that we know so much about Suella Braverman and her Rwanda project, and yet new things pop up every day to confirm what we know, and it doesn't stop this obsession of hers and the fact that she is even given a platform or allowed to continue. So we know that she has links with the current administration in Rwanda. She has financial links and academic links with the current administration in Rwanda. It's very nice to have protégés, and it's very nice to have passed on your skills. She's passed on her skills. And so I believe, as Robert Jenrick, I believe they're in this together in some form. And we know that there's a sort of quid pro quo element about the Rwanda detention system. We give Rwanda our people, they give us theirs. So sending people to Rwanda is never going, even if it works, is never going to reduce the total number of migrants in this country, because it's going to be a quid pro quo. So the Mirror ran a piece yesterday or the day before saying that dozens of Rwandans were granted asylum in the UK as Suella Braverman's safety claim is savaged. And it's quite extraordinary. 40 Rwandans applied for asylum since 2020. And they seem to have been fast-tracked through the system while other people are still hanging on in hotels. And the Mirror points out that not only does this mean that Rwandans are getting preferential treatment, and of course, if somebody is in need of asylum, we should grant it if they come to us, whether they're from Rwanda or whether they're from somewhere else. But surely if people are seeking asylum from Rwanda, then Rwanda mustn't be a safe country. More than that, if you go to the Foreign Office, the advice of the Foreign Office is that you don't go anywhere near, I think, East Rwanda, because it's dangerous. And because, indeed, President Kagame is in the middle of a war. I don't understand why Suella Braverman can then say that Rwanda is a safe country. Rwanda is a country in the middle of a war. Steve Smith is quoted. He's the CEO of the refugee charity Care for Calais, quoted saying, "The government's claim that Rwanda is a safe country to which we should send asylum seekers has always been pure conjecture on their part." I think the word is not conjecture, but pure fantasy or deceit. The fact that the Home Office decision makers have been granting asylum to Rwandans while ministers have been spinning their cash for humans deal in the media blows their argument apart. He says that the Rwanda scheme is expensive and ill thought out. Publicity is an expensive and ill thought out publicity stunt. So far, it's cost at least 140 million, which has been paid to the Rwandan government. And the Home Office figures apparently show 29 decisions made on Rwandan claimants since 2020. Of these, 14 were granted protection, 10 were refused, a further 5 applications were withdrawn. And at the moment, the Supreme Court is weighing up whether the scheme is legal, whether Rwanda is safe. And Professor Brooks says if the policy is found unlawful by the UK top judges, the Tories are left without any plan to stop the boats except the use of empty barges at extortionate cost to taxpayers, and it marks a new low for the 13 years of ineptitude on immigration. I think that's slightly unfair because it suggests that the immigration crisis is entirely a product of the Conservative Party. It's not. The immigration crisis began in the early part of the present century. So there's a lot of problems with the previous administration, with the Labour Party. But the real fault lies with the ministry, lies with the Home Office itself. And I think it was made significantly worse by the invention of, quote, the hostile environment by Theresa May early on in her tenure. And that was a justification to go slow. So maybe the civil service in the Home Office was always trying to drag its feet. But from the time of Theresa May, it had ministerial justification to do so. So from that point of view, yes, the Conservative Party has legitimised ineptitude. And that is the problem. And a future government will need to deal with that. A Home Office spokesperson said Rwanda has been recognised globally for its record in welcoming and integrating migrants and asylum seekers. The number of people risking their lives by making illegal and dangerous journeys is unacceptable. That is why we have passed new legislation which will ensure those arriving in the UK illegally are detained and promptly removed to their country of origin or a safe third country. Pig swill, really, but there we are. Just have to add it so that we've got some sort of parity between reality and fantasy.